Good evening and welcome to live streaming coverage from the Stu Sells Toronto Tankard. My name is Jared Gertz of Curling Zone, joined by Price Atkinson for this evening's broadcast. Welcome, Price. Oh, we got you on mute, Price. You are on mute.
Hold on, now can you hear me?
There we go. Technology, you got it figured out. So we got a great little
now
game here.
Now can you hear me, Jerry? You good?
Yeah, we could hear you. Yeah, we can hear you now.
There we go.
Yeah, Jennifer Jones, one of the top-ranked teams in the world. Obviously, their legendary status doesn't take much to present them. They're know a lot about them, but of course their opponents, Emily Deschenes, team out of the Ottawa area, Manotick, if that's familiar. That's home of the one and only Jamie Sinclair. And so, a good matchup here. A rematch from last week. I know Deschenes is looking for something a little bit better here.
Yeah, good opening game, and really want to see what Jennifer Jones and her team comes out looking like, especially as you will look down on the ice and you will only see 3 players. That's because Caitlin Laws has, due to a personal matter, has had to head home. So I talked to Victor Schell, their coach, just a very brief time ago before this game came on. They hit the ice, and he let me know what was going on, and he said he didn't think it would affect them too much, obviously with the new COVID sweeping rules and only one sweeper. He said the girls in great shape, didn't think it would affect them that much. So it'll be just interesting to see how they do come out playing with 3, especially coming off that win last weekend.
Yeah, we're getting into it here in the first end. Team Jones, I believe, has hammer. Didn't quite get a chance to clarify that yet. We'll make sure that is correct. Jones throwing yellow stones. Deschenes with the red.
He had a great test for this young team out of Manotick to go up against who is unquestionably the favorite this weekend, with Team Holman opting out and pulling out of the event. No question about it. Jennifer Jones is the class of the field, but nonetheless a great test as you see them going to split the house here and hopefully force Jones to 1 in this opening end.
Yeah, the Deschenes side, one of the young up-and-coming junior teams in the province. Runner-up in last year's Ontario Junior playoffs. Some Canada Winter Games, I believe, was another rep there. I do have some of their stuff buried in my email right now as we're getting ready for the first draw. But one of those teams I think we're going to see a lot more of in the future. Kind of a phenom junior team that's been put together to compete at the top level.
Yeah, of course, ton of talent coming out of Ontario. Curlon, it's just so deep, especially with talented young players, and this team is clearly no different. This is my first time getting to see them play. I haven't got to see them play before, so excited to watch them, and again, just to see what kind of test they might be able to give Jennifer Jones and Lisa Weigel and Jocelyn tonight.
Hi everyone!
We're Team Deschenes.
Hope you're enjoying the game so far.
We'd just like to thank all of our sponsors this year.
Also Jerry Gertz, Stu Sankey, and the Stu Sells team for putting on the event.
Stay safe everyone!
Quick little intro there for Team Deschenes. Try and make sure I get this pronunciation right. I wasn't quite paying attention as close as I needed to there. There is an Abby Deschenes in this event as well. Another team with the same last name but no S on the end of it.
Looks like the first of skip stones here, boss man, for Team Deschenes.
Does end up wrecking on the guard there. Break for the Jones team here.
So they were looking to try and force them to one. Jennifer's got staring 2 right in the eyes now, Jerry.
Well, it doesn't take much when you look at a veteran like Jones. That double by Jocelyn Peterman there to set up this shot. Roll that shooter under the corner guard, and now Deschenes wrecks on that corner, and Jones has a chance to lie 2 here. Tricky little shot, though.
I didn't get to see a lot. I was on the road a little bit last weekend, so I didn't get to watch much of
I think it was. Sitting on the beach, and you're sending me photos, teasing me.
A weekend getaway, but not getting to really see much of any of the games last weekend. Talking to Victor Schell, their coach, a little while ago, it just said they felt great, like a kid on Christmas morning. Just so excited to hit the ice, like I think everybody was for the first time last weekend. And I think that excitement certainly they've got it, and it'll carry over here. Playing on the same ice they played on last week.
Hi everyone, I want to just thank you so much for tuning in. We're having a blast welcoming Lisa to the team and getting on the ice. We're having just a great time. Thank you to the KW Granite for taking all the safety precautions and making it as safe as possible for all the players on the ice. Thank you to Stu Sells for his love of curling and continued support of everything curling. We also want to thank our sponsors, Princess Auto and Sam Canada Brewing Company, Bayer and Chelsea, Water Ice and New Hanover Jewelry Design, Goldline and Cutter and Bucks. Thanks so much, everyone. Keep watching and stay healthy. Thanks for cheering.
So Jennifer sitting shot stone here. Got 1 rock left per team. Deschenes is going to have their final stone coming up right here, Jerry. What do you think she's going to play here? She's going to play the hit?
Looks like Jones is 1-3. So, of course, shot stone in the back there. That rock in the top is still in an important spot here for Deschenes. Yep. They need to stay on this hit. They'd love to get a little hit and roll underneath, kind of use that yellow stone as a guard at the same time.
Reminder, only 1 sweeper, so got to really go to hold this thing.
Looks good enough.
And not bad.
Jones does have a double here, but it's one of these tricky ones. You're hitting second shot stone.
So did you take your pill, get your 1, or it looks like she's sizing it up?
Yeah, I think this is a situation. Just draw for your single point. Make sure you get on the scoreboard, keep the advantage, take that lead. That double's there if you need to make it, but you certainly don't want to give up a steal in the first end to start here. So, of course, a bit of a limited field this weekend. I know we've been working hard to sort of put on the curling we can for the teams that are interested in playing. We do have 7 women's teams this weekend, 6 men's teams. Of course, a strong lineup of very good teams that'll make for some great games for the stream, at least.
Yeah, really excited about the men's side, too, Jerry. Of course, you got Epping and Howard. I think the headliners in the favorites there. But, still a deep bench of teams, and really excited to what happens on the men's side, especially after we did not get a final last week, which is clearly understandable as Jennifer draws in there for that single point. We are now off and running, Jerry.
First end in the books. We'll be right back after these short messages from the Stu Sells Toronto Tankard, streaming this weekend from the KW Granite Club in Kitchener-Waterloo, Ontario.
When I sweep with the Gold Line Fiber Light, I feel like I'm sweeping on TV.
That's light.
More surface area, better results. It's that easy.
It's that easy. You need to sweep for weight? You need to sweep with this.
Now, every time I curl, people ask me, what are you sweeping with?
What are you sweeping with?
What are you sweeping with?
It's a Gold Line.
It's a Gold Line.
It's a Gold Line.
It's a Gold Line.
And it's the choice of champions.
Firehouse Subs has so many delicious quality subs. There's something for everyone. But the one that started it all more than 25 years ago was the Hook and Ladder. Piping hot and piled high with freshly sliced smoked turkey breast, honey ham, melted Monterey Jack, and loaded with the freshest toppings on a toasted roll. Try the Hook and Ladder today to find out why everyone keeps coming back again and again. The Hook and Ladder. One bite and you'll be hooked. Visit firehousesubs.ca to order online.
Back here, second end. Bryce Atkinson joining me. My name's Jerry Gertz of Curling Zone. This is the Stu Sells Toronto Tankard this weekend. Last weekend we covered the Oakville Tankard, sort of utilizing the KW Granite Club in Kitchener-Waterloo as a bit of a hub for the curling.
And it looked like it was a great event last weekend, Jerry. And I certainly, as I was talking during that last shot there, I thought you guys had a great event last weekend. And most certainly, I thought you guys made the right call in regard to the men's final after the COVID app decides to go off, which it's designed to do, and making the best decision with the safety in mind of the players, the coaches, everybody involved. To go ahead and just, to cancel that men's final while the women's final did take place. But I thought it was the exact right decision that you guys said was a complete no-brainer.
Yeah, I think it's something that we wanted to be careful with. What ended up happening was that somebody's COVID alert app indicated that they had come in contact with somebody who tested positive. And so because of that, we took, as the first event, we wanted to make sure we took extreme caution. The chances of that player testing positive we felt was really low, as that interaction happened around a work environment where precautions were taken. Now, obviously, the phones don't know the difference, and that's how the system works. If the phones are within distance of each other, they will pick up the fact that they were close. And, of course, by Tuesday, we learned that the test was clear, and we were looking forward to going ahead here. Of course, that wasn't the first alert that we had. Another player playing this weekend had an alert last week. They went and got a test to clear, and they're good to go in here as well. So, two potential routes into this event that, we sort of stopped. And, even if the player had been positive last week, it would have given us a chance to get ahead of the problem at the same time, too.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it did exactly what it was designed to do. And I can only say that here in the United States, I wish that we had people that were using the COVID app. It was of regular use on, phones and everything with folks down here. But unfortunately, that's just simply not the case. So I am envious and jealous of Canada and everybody that has put that app to use, because it really seems like it's awesome. And certainly for what we're trying to do and put on curling events and have the players and keeping their safety at the very top of the list, it's just incredible. It's vitally important.
Yeah, I think this is one of the tools that'll help us get through this as quick as possible and be able to identify when issues pop up and we have the virus in the area, and we want to make sure that we catch that as quick as possible. And I think for anybody at home, it's a real simple app. If you're concerned about the privacy, there's lots of great research you can do on it. It's set up in a way so that there isn't personal information transferred back and forth. All the phone does is pick up a beacon, and should those beacons be turned on at some point, it would then turn on your phone, and you would be told that you should go get tested and checked out. it is one of the challenges with the system is that because of the lack of personal information and data within it, the number of downloads and use of the app is still limited. We don't know a whole lot. So, like, they don't even have information on how many positive cases go through the system that they're releasing. So, but at the same time, we know it works. We've come across it. We've seen it a couple times now with this event, and looking forward to seeing no more of these alerts for the time being.
Yeah, it was a tough miss by Deschenes there, just a shot ago, and Jennifer going to take advantage of that one. But yeah, just certainly I agree with you on all counts. Having that app is just massive, and like I said, I'm jealous that the people here in the States aren't utilizing that kind of technology more. So many people are just upset about their personal liberties and rights being infringed upon. It stinks, but it is where we are right now in trying to get through this global pandemic, which hope as we turn the calendar to 2021, Jerry, I hope we have at least some end somewhere in sight.
Yep, there's a lot of adjustments to this. Obviously in Ontario here, we're seeing our numbers go up again. We did lose a few teams from the Toronto area, which is considered a hotspot. All these teams are taking all precautions, distancing. For many, this is a job. When you look at Jennifer Jones's team on the ice here, this is what they do for a living, and they're trying to get out there, get an opportunity to get a little bit of exposure, support their sponsors, and do it in a safe way.
Really nice run back there by Deschenes on their last shot, Jerry, to clear them out there. And after that whiff, a couple shots before that.
And then this comes up a little bit short, and now opportunity Team Deschenes.
So they make the run back and now catch a break. Let's see if they can capitalize on this. Certainly would love to find a way to get two. We got triple knockout format here with 7 women's teams on the women's side. Because everybody will be a playoff team there, Jerry?
Well, we've got, we did have to shuffle the draw today.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone's guaranteed 4 games. We've kind of bit of a modified round robin format here. Games will go tonight, obviously. The men come on after this at 9:30 Eastern. Then tomorrow and Sunday, 10 a.m., 1:30, 5 p.m., and 8:30 Eastern. 4 draws on each of those days. And then come on Monday, Thanksgiving Monday here in Canada, we have the men's semifinals, the women's finals, and then the men's final. 3 draws, 9 a.m., 12:30, and 4 p.m. Eastern. So Lisa Weigel, the new addition to Team Jones this season, if you haven't seen her in action yet. Jones, of course, winners of last weekend's Stu Sells Oakville Tankard, defeating Holly Duncan in an extra end.
Yeah, Victor, when I talked to Victor a little bit ago, he's the coach for Team Jones. Victor Schell, our good friend and outstanding coach, said, when talking about Lisa Weigel, he said, she's a beauty to have on your team, adapted super well, very professional. And I think anybody, obviously outside of Team Holman, making that decision in the offseason, almost anybody would love to have somebody of the caliber on the front end is Lisa Weigel. Is talented and is as good as they possibly come when it comes to leads anywhere around the world, much less just in Canada.
Yeah, I think with that situation, I think she just got caught in a numbers game with Team Holman. Holman was looking to make an improvement at second, and they added Sarah Wilkes to the lineup. Unfortunately, it left them with 2 players in the lead position, and they decided to choose between the sweeping of Joanne Courtney in that spot.
No, and it's funny because, I know when Lisa talked afterwards, about being surprised and, obviously upset and hurt, but the chance to join a Team Jones, somebody like this, it's, obviously Jennifer's, track record as an Olympic champion, 6 national, titles, 2 world championships. It could energize somebody like Elisa Weigel. Obviously, it'd be motivating when you go and get that first matchup against Holman. But I think as somebody, when you've been on the same team for so long, when you can mix things up a little bit, sometimes it can give yourself a shot in the arm, of energy and energize you as a player. And also your new team to a degree when you have a new face like that, because it's kind of like, you want to put your best foot forward. You want to put on your, that first impression, so to speak.
Yeah, I think it's a testament to her skills as a player and what she brings to the table that a team like Jones would snap her up as quickly as they did. She wasn't on the free agent market for long.
Nope. And they were the questions of where would you play her? How would you handle having just 5 stars? I mean, that's what they are, and but they've got a plan, and they're going to mix and match however they need to do it. And Dawn McEwen, Munchkins, her and Mike have, and certainly when you can have interchangeable parts to a degree, and you have 5 players, and somebody can't be there. This is a team. It doesn't matter which. I don't think in my mind, Jerry, which 4 you have, you don't miss a single beat.
Yeah, agreed. And when you look at what they've added, we do have a couple questions here about where's Dawn. Dawn didn't come to Ontario at all for this trip. She was taking it off. The plan was to get Lisa integrated in the team and get some experience on the ice. Unfortunately, Caitlin has left for a personal matter. Nothing to worry about, nothing COVID-related or anything like that. She just had to head home. And so they're playing with 3 this weekend. But, as a 5-player team, it opens up all kinds of opportunities to play more and help with the rest and recovery component of the game at the same time, too. And I think it's a really smart move, and I think it's something you're going to see more curling teams do in the long run.
Ooh, just gets past it. Nice shot. Hard to tell how buried it is, but it looks like that's pretty fully buried under that yellow rock of Jones, Jerry. Looks like the last stone's coming for each skip here. This will be Jennifer's last one, as they had hammer in the first inning, got 1. Now looking to get the 4th or possibly even a steal here.
So now with that good shot there from Deschenes, Jones is going to go around the whole thing and add a little extra bit of pressure here.
Awesome to have so many viewers tuning in on a Friday night or a late afternoon, wherever you are. Send us a message in the chat. Let us know where you're tuning in from. Always get excited to see where everybody's watching from, Jerry, in the comments. just see.
Yeah, reach out and throw some questions in for my main man, Price, here. Spend the year traveling Grand Slams, covering a lot of teams on social media. This last shot here, second end, and just slides heavy.
Ooh.
So it will be steal of one here for Team Jones. 2-0 here early in the opening draw. The Stu Sells Toronto Tankard. We'll be right back.
Hi.
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 I'm Sean Chang.
My name is Chris.
Hi, I'm Phil Hanna.
And I'm an RBC mortgage specialist.
I can meet you where you work, where you live, or halfway across town. Unia Mortgage Specialist.
You can find us anywhere, from here
to here,
and even way over here.
But what is a
Mortgage specialist.
And what does a mortgage specialist do?
What does a mortgage specialist do?
What does a mortgage specialist do?
Well, to start, we understand our communities.
Whether you live in Little Portugal
or run and operate a store in Bloor West Village,
we want to understand you. We take the time to get to know each and every one of our clients.
Because we all have unique circumstances.
And we would love to get to know yours.
So, let's meet at your closest branch.
Or maybe over a cup of coffee.
So we can understand what matters to you.
We're here to support you.
And we never,
ever
leave our clients behind.
Whether you're buying your first home
or your fifth,
or even when you're looking to build your dream home,
we bring our deep understanding of the real estate landscape and our communities
together under the one team of RBC.
Para melhor atender você.
Because our goal is to help you achieve yours.
Our goal is to help you achieve yours.
And we'll work tirelessly to make your dream home a reality.
To make your dream home a reality.
Your goals and dreams deserve an expert. Come and see an RBC mortgage specialist today, where we won't leave a client behind.
Special thank you there from Keith Joel for his support of the Stu Sells series. Keith has been with us since the start.
We're underway in the third end. Price Atkinson joined by Jerry Gertz. Curling Zone, excited to bring you this opening game of the Stu Sells Toronto Tankard from the Granite Club in Kitchener-Waterloo. Jennifer Jones grabbed the steal of one there in the second end to take a 2-0 lead on Team Deschenes. Manotick, Ontario, which would remind me, and I want to send a very special shout out, speaking of Manotick, to a good friend, a close friend, somebody I've become close with in the curling world, Randy Fletcher, lives in Manotick, battling an illness, and wishing him certainly a speedy recovery, as he may or may not be watching from home. Something tells me he is, because he loves curling, and anytime he can get it on TV, on a stream, online, he will be watching. So thinking about you, Randy, and it's thinking about you every day, and I hope you're getting better. And also he and his beautiful wife Nancy shared an anniversary this week, so congratulations to them. They're in Manotick, home of Team Deschenes. As we said, give us a shout out in the comment section if you're watching on Facebook. Let us know where you're tuning in from tonight. Yep, somebody said the scoreboard is wrong. Yes, the scoreboard on the bottom is off. We are in the third end. Team Jones is up 2-0. And Deschenes retaining the hammer after giving up that steal of one there in the second end. We are playing the third right now from the Granite Club. Second straight weekend here is just tuning in and wondering, yes, obviously COVID-19 rules that do apply. Only one sweeper. The other can walk down the ice with the other sweeper, but only one sweeping. Jennifer Jones there in the house cannot sweep, so can call the game but can't sweep as the skip in the house. Also looking to see, well, why are there only 3 players for Team Jones out there? Well, Caitlin Laws had to head home due to a personal matter, non-COVID related. Just want to stress that once again. So Caitlin having to miss it, but headed home to attend to a personal matter. Certainly hope everything is okay there, but it is non-COVID related. Shane's obviously, Shane would love to get on the board here and would love to get a deuce, as that one is going to skip off and out. Don't think that is biting the very back. It might be barely hanging on, but right now Jones line 2 without hammer here in the third it's now been corrected. So Jones going to continue to apply the pressure here and see if she can't get a steal of 1, maybe 2, to increase that lead after 3 ends. A question there on the Facebook chat is Team Jones letting this one go. Who are the other players on Team Deschenes? Well, Emily Deschenes, the skip. Third is Emma Artichuk. The second is Lindsay Debut, and their lead, Michaela Robert. That is Team Deschenes out of Manotick, Ontario.
Just a quick update on that as well. Grace Lloyd is their third. Coach Greg Artichuk. Grace Lloyd is their alternate. They are a 5-player team. All 5 players here this weekend as well. Just not sure who's actually in the lineup right now. Again, another team subscribing to that 5-player philosophy, which is great to see, especially from a young age.
That one is not going to help them either right there, Jerry.
Yeah, just got caught in between a little bit. Had they let that curl a little bit, they could have hit a bit thicker on that top yellow, would have stayed a little bit closer to that corner guard and made this shot a little bit more difficult.
So Jennifer's got this young junior team and, in some trouble again here in the third.
Good news is that this time the middle's still mostly open. If you can get Jones chasing you around corner guards, that's still always an advantage for you. You know, you can make a bunch of mistakes over there, and you're still going to have the 4-foot to draw to with your last one. You do that around the 4-foot, and you're going to be throwing some sort of run back to score. Jocelyn Peterman looking for the nose hit here.
That one is absolutely perfect. You know, Jerry, wanted to, speaking of shout outs, wanted to give you and certainly our man Stu a shout out on the GoFundMe campaign that was set up to raise money for online streaming. I think it's just a great initiative to bring these type of events into your home, iPad, iPhone, whatever the device may be that you're watching. Just a really great initiative trying to raise money so we can stream so many more of these events on the weekends. You know, the pandemic obviously has affected us all, and not being able to travel and put events on TV and stuff. It's vitally important, at least for our sport, and especially for the players getting out to events and bringing these to fans all across the country and the world, for that matter.
Yeah, thanks for that mention, Price. Really appreciate it. And Stu, just some background on the story. Stu has been the longtime supporter of the Stu Sells series around the Toronto area. I think we're into year 12 now. Last year was so this will be year 11 of the events, so into the 12th year. And, it's really amazing to see what's come of the series. It all started going back to this event, the Stu Sells Toronto in High Park. Stu really brought a lot of energy to the sport as a pretty newcomer to curling as well. He had only played for a couple of years and joined the club. And now this has grown through this time up to 8 events, and then next year the plan is to add 2 more events, sort of a regional tour series where the overall winner gets a car at the end of the day from Brantford Nissan. So it's really amazing to see where this has come.
Yeah, Stu just does such an amazing supporter of curling and the events around the greater Toronto area. He just does so much to support, and all the players, and of course we, everybody around the game, loves Stu. How can you not love Stu? And the only thing I'm just disappointed in is we can't be there in person, having fun together, because if you don't know, Stu throws the very best parties, Jerry.
He sure does. He's the host with the most, and you'll see we'll roll a few videos of Stu as we go here. But yeah, so Stu invested a bunch of money into buying some good quality streaming equipment. It's not even quite on order or arrived yet. We've got a few rental pieces here helping support last weekend and this weekend. But it does cost some money to put these on every weekend. Stu's investment makes it possible to do this at an even more affordable price, but there's still a cost every weekend to put one of these on. So that's what we're trying to fundraise, so we can make it possible to get out and do more of these events and show more curling as guidelines allow.
The other thing I miss is sitting in that warm room last year in Oakville, Jerry, at the Stu Sells in Oakville, and every time the music would go down and Stu would hop on the mic, I'd stop everything I was doing just to see the Stu show wherever he was in the warm room with the microphone. He just puts on a show. Great party, great events, just a great show.
Yeah, and his events cross all sections of the sport, from juniors to men's and women's. Mixed doubles. There's also like an under 5 kind of newcomer to the sport, and that thing just draws across the face there. Looking to try and freeze on that back one, and that one had a fairly significant over curl.
Not sure, is this Jennifer's last one coming, or is this going to be her first one?
Yeah, this will be Jennifer's last, because that was Emily's first there for Team Deschenes.
Here we go. Jennifer going to try and keep the pressure on and make Deschenes make will likely be a tough draw for one on her last.
Yeah, that stone did stay as second shot, so Jones does have to deal with it.
I think Deschenes has struggled a little bit with draw weight so far, so this should be an easy draw for one. You even have that back yellow there that you can kind of use as a backstop even if you want to hit it.
I think the challenge is with the draw weight right now. Emily's just going to go down, try and throw the hit here.
Yep.
Get it on the nose, keep the shooter. This ice has been pristine. This is now the third weekend event here. The Cameron's Brewing Mixed Doubles on the 25th to 27th of September. Won by Jennifer Jones and her husband,
That's right.
Brent Lang. And then, of course, Jennifer won last weekend's women's event, the Oakville Tankard here.
Certainly this is not the last event at the Granite Club either. They have got a busy fall.
Yeah, the KW Fall Classic, their normal event that runs every year in the September is October 23rd to 25th as well. Going fairly hard on this sweep. Got to keep it on the nose.
And
there
that
it is.
Looks like that'll be just one there, but they get on the board, and that's what you want to get a little confidence going there with that hit for one, and they will get on the board. Nicely done.
Hey guys, we are here at the Summit at King and Bathurst, and this condo complex is crazy. Look, it's got an outdoor pool, it's got 2 barbecues, it has an indoor pool, full gym, yoga, workout room. This is truly like being at Club Med. Now, we're bringing this amazing 1-bedroom and den condo unit to market, brand new wood floor, brand new gorgeous kitchen, brand new bathroom, open concept. This building was built about 30 years ago. When they built these condos, they built them for living. So we're almost 700 square feet of open space, floor to ceiling glass, so much room, closets, storage. This is an amazing unit. So go to stusells.ca, look at all these pictures, see the video, and then call me, Stu, and come for your personal tour.
Some people see the world a little differently. Where others see problems, they see possibilities. And they have the curiosity and ingenuity to turn those light bulb moments into awesome realities. We know who you are.
Now that's a toy store. Special thank you there to Princess Auto, one of Team Jennifer Jones's top sponsors. I know the teams are doing everything they can this year to promote the supporters that help make this possible for them. And a sponsor like Princess Auto, who's been a supporter of the Slams now for a number of years, and Team Jennifer Jones and Reed Carruthers as well.
Yeah, a couple comments there in the on Facebook, Jerry. Asking once again. I think some people tuning in just now. Why does Team Jones only have 3 players? Once again, we will keep you updated. But Caitlin Laws had to head home. Personal matter, non-COVID related. Just again, want to stress that. So. Jocelyn Peterman, Lisa Weigel, and Jennifer Jones will be playing together, the 3 of them, this weekend, as they won't have the 4th.
Okay, so I did get some help with the Team Deschenes lineup. I'm going to get that skipper's pronunciation right one of these times. I got a little bit of a mind blank on it right now, but it was Emma Ardichuk is away. Lindsay Debut at second is moving to the third spot. Grace Lloyd is in the lineup at second. And Michaela Robert is the lead.
You know, watching that Stu commercial, Jerry, at the break there, just before the fourth end began, boy, it's no wonder that Stu is such a good salesman. He could sell anything. I'm convinced he could, obviously sells homes, which you can, as a realtor, you can go check out. He's one of the top real estate teams in the area, stusells.ca. Again, stusells.ca. But I'm convinced Stu could sell absolutely anything that he chose to, Jerry. I mean, you name it, Stu could kill it.
Yeah, well, and it's not that he's, anything nefarious or anything. He just brings a ton of energy to everything he does. And, the Stu we're showing here, that is the Stu you'll know behind the scenes. The guy loves curling, and curling has been very good to him as well, and he loves being able to give back to the sport. And I know it's something that brings him a lot of pride at the same time, too. So he's around all weekend, being the host with a little bit of the most, whatever you can bring in a situation like this. But, he's just been so amazing for the sport and allows me the opportunity to do things like this and bring curling to the fans around the world.
Does Stu still do his fireside chat videos? I used to love when he would do those fireside style. I think he used to do them mostly all on Facebook. Those things are, they're absolute classics.
I'd have to dig deep into the archives. I'm not sure what he's been doing recently. I know a lot of his stuff, his houses and stuff, go on video. And it's really great to see, what people, who are looking to sell their place can offer as a promotion.
Thanks for everybody for tuning in on Facebook or wherever you're watching. Give us a shout out in the comments where you're watching from, because that not only supports Curling Zone, but also Stu and his team, and to see the kind of numbers that we're getting tonight. Everybody watching, on a Friday night, as the weather starts turning colder, depending on where you are.
Some extra discussion going on here about what to call. Nice work. Our crew behind the scenes has been working on some of the tech over the week. Got a little inset there at the other end. Great to see that. Evan Seacombe. We have Jake on the switchers, Steven on the camera. Amazing job there at the KW Granite Club. They're tucked away in their own little shelter on the side. They have no interaction with the rest of the club. Interesting setup there.
Haven't had the chance to visit the Granite Club yet, Jerry. I know it's a beautiful facility, and Victor's told me quite a lot about it. But being a little ways out of Toronto, haven't had the chance to get down there yet. Excited to see it one of these days, hopefully soon, as we get on the other side of this pandemic that we all want in the rearview mirror, so we can get back to semblance of normalcy.
Yeah, that's really what we're looking for here. But for now, we'll do our best to bring you a bit of coverage here this week and into future events. Well, I know Team Cooey will be streaming their games starting tomorrow. They're playing the McKee Fall Classic in Airdrie, Alberta. And I know a number of other teams are putting on their own feeds at the same time too. Cameras, and some have microphones on the ice. There's going to be opportunities to watch some curling, and we're going to try and put together a bit of a directory on where you can find it, which teams are putting on their own coverage, where the games are being posted, all of that stuff. Honestly, everyone, it's been as busy as ever. Last weekend, 15 events on Curling Zone. This weekend, I think there's going to be around 10 by the time it's settled out. Yeah, there's still a ton of curling going on right now, and it's just playing catch-up right now.
Yeah. Excited about the Saskatchewan Men's Super Series that's going to be held next weekend in Regina. Excited to see with 5 men's teams, all obviously Saskatchewan teams there, put together by Kirk Myers and Team Dunstone. Be the first time the showdown between Dunstone and Flash since some changes in the offseason. So excited.
Yeah, certainly should be a good
excited
story
about that
there.
one next weekend out there in Regina, and hopefully we'll have some streaming info news to share early next week.
Yeah, we're working on a streaming setup for that. I know if anybody's got a little bit of funds to put towards something like this, obviously Stu's doing his fundraiser, but I know Team Dunstone is looking for a few dollars to just up the streaming quality for that event. It's not a significant investment. Anybody who's interested in helping support that and Team Dunstone to get the streaming done, that would really help us there too. And we've got the coverage will be here on Curling Zone at the same time too.
You know, and the teams have been, you know, obviously everybody's dealing with this as best we can, but, you know, teams have been put in such difficult spots without events and chances to play. You know, we certainly don't know. Fluid is kind of the name of the game through all this. You know, everything changes so often, but not even knowing what season of champions is going to be like come the winter. You know, these teams still want to be ready, so they're having to cobble together, you know, events of their own, you know, in their provinces because of, you know, travel restrictions. And so, you know, while they want to play and get on the ice, they also want to bring these events, you know, into iPads and iPhones and laptops and TVs, wherever they can. So it's been a challenge, but, you know, so many teams are cobbling things together and just making do as best they can. And, you know, on a side note too, I know Donna Spencer had an article in, I believe it was yesterday or the day before, talking about clubs and how they've obviously been affected financially across Canada. You know, this is a chance to help out to some of the local clubs. You know, they're having these local events that are getting really good teams, you know, into their facilities, and it's a chance for those players too to give back to those clubs and communities. But it's a unique situation that we're all dealing with, and certainly a big shout out to the players and the way they've handled this and continuing to forge ahead, you know, as we move through this pandemic.
Yeah, you can tell these players really love to play the game. You know, it's a case like sponsorship is way down this year in events. You know, for the most part, you look at an event like this and it's entry fees minus the rental fee that helps support the curling club here. And so, you know, these teams are playing just for a chance to get out there and play and support their sponsors who really are the ones who make this possible for them. There are opportunities here for Team Deschenes. They've had rocks in play without too much trouble in the middle. Although Jones does have hammer here. Catching up to the storyline. So this is a bit of trouble here now for Deschenes. That corner guard, Jones' stone, with rocks under it. She's going to have to find somewhere to hide here.
Jerry, how close are all the teams staying to the facility there at the Granite Club? Is the hotel or where everybody's staying, is it relatively close?
Yeah, there's some hotels in the area close. It is on the campus of the Wilfrid Laurier University. It's sort of the rink in the park facility there. And I know a couple of teams had Airbnbs as well. You know, everybody's looking for, you know, their own sheltered space. Essentially, these teams are from accommodation to the rink.
Getting rolled not too far and not bad.
Clutch shot there.
That one looks like it's pretty buried there, Jerry. Jennifer's got her first two coming.
Yeah,
that's a
she
good
won't be
look
able
at
to
it
see
right
any of
there.
that. Yeah, but this ice does have a lot of curl. Rob Adams and his crew here at the KW Granite Club created a pristine surface, lots of curl, and lots of speed as well. That was one thing that I heard from the players, is that this ice was sliding quick.
Changing her mind a little bit on this one.
Yeah, coming down to take another look.
You know, it's funny, Jerry, while they're down there talking in the house, you know, I wish we had obviously player mics on, that we can't do it due to the setup and everything. But it was funny going back several weeks and months, you know, a lot of these different events, especially as golf got back on television, you had more players mic'd up, and there was a made-for-TV event, and you could hear, I think it was Tiger, Phil, it was that match, that match for charity thing on a Sunday. They had all of them mic'd up, even in their golf carts, and it was, you know, everybody started raving about how awesome it was. And I said, that's the way, I told several friends of mine, that's the way curling, our sport has been forever. You can hear our sport, our players mic'd up all the time talking strategy and stuff. It just, I didn't really think much of it. It just didn't come across as, wow, that's different.
Yeah, it's what really makes our sport out there, and it's amazing to see new people come into the game. I know this is one of the things that the USA experience has done for me. You know, I've done a lot of work, traveled a lot in the United States, and I see the growth of the sport and people who have absolutely no knowledge of the sport being drawn in because of that sort of, you know, chess and armchair quarterback kind of thing. You hear the players talk, the fans talk about it, and it gets people hooked, and it's so much fun to see.
Without a doubt. Because that was a beauty by Jennifer there on her first stone. Wow.
You know, this is almost like it's a broken record with Jones. They seem like they're in mid-season form already. Last weekend, they were playing great, and again, another clutch shot here in the fourth end. Deschenes with the draw. Her response here.
This would be a nice time to get that draw weight back down that they've struggled with a little bit. So
a little bit of weight, a little bit of line.
You still have that second red, the back of the 8, Jerry.
Yeah, and Jones is lining up the double here. Make that double. That shooter may stick on the rock in the back corner there. And score a 4 is possible.
It's definitely there. Looks like she's sizing it up. This will be a big chance to break this game open.
Yeah, you know what? Just small, minor mistake by the Deschenes team there that might cause a big end. Same thing in their first matchup. It was a tight game, and a couple of small mistakes by Team Deschenes, and Jones blew it open. And we'll see what she's got here. Last stone, fourth end. Looking for the double on the Reds. Just
missed it, but going to get that deuce, so.
Yeah, nice quiet weight
there.
The
worst result at all.
Yeah, 2 points for Jones. She threw that under control, kept the shooter. Now goes up 4-1 here after 4 ends at the Stu Sells Toronto Tankard. We'll be right back after this short messages.
Hey guys, welcome to the Stu Sells team's brand new listing. And I am so pumped to bring 113th Street to market. This is a super cool house. We are in New Toronto. The lake is right there. The bike path is right there. Do you know what? I've always said in real estate, this area of Lakeshore, New Toronto, is going to be the next beaches of Toronto. You can see the development. And voila, we have this great raised bungalow. The ceilings in the basement are 8 feet tall, and you have a 1-bedroom apartment in the basement for extra income. And you know what? My client has done all the hard work. She's taken out the walls. She's put in the structural support beam. So everything's there to put a second story on, or you know what? Just come to this beautiful country-like setting backyard and just chill. The home has a lot of upgrades. Like I said, it has the beam. It's an open concept, and you know what? The crazy thing about this bungalow is it actually has a front hall closet, which most bungalows don't. So look, go to stusells.ca. You can see all the pictures and videos of this amazing backyard. You can take a tour of the area and call me Stu and come have a showing.
Back here for the fifth end. This is the Stu Sells Toronto Tankard. Special thank you. That was Stu, everyone, ladies and gentlemen. I certainly want, if my house was up for sale, I certainly wanted Stu selling it.
There is nobody like Stu.
Yeah, he is. He really brings a lot of excitement to the sport, a lot of energy around the events, and the fact that he loves to be involved at all levels of the game is really what makes this whole thing so much fun.
Stu is a one of a kind, Jerry.
So now for the Deschenes team, they're going to be looking, try and put 2 points on the board, get back into it, stay up with the pace here of Jones.
Jerry, your thoughts on our mutual and good friend Greg Strong's story in the Canadian press this morning? I wouldn't say it was news, but some interesting insight that he delivered from Gary Peckham in Curling Canada, talking about what the upcoming Scotties and Briar potentially could look like come February and March.
Yeah, I think it was a pretty big story today out of the Canadian press. Gregory Strong writing it. You were referencing Donna Spencer's story the day before. The two of them are definitely diving into curling again, which is great to see. But yeah, I don't think it's a big surprise when you think about where the sports landscape is in general. With Greg talked about it's looking a lot like the best and only opportunity at this point to do some of this stuff is to sort of bubble up and do it all in one place kind of thing. Of course, there's a pretty good
bubble
carrot.
Setups.
Yeah, exactly. There's a pretty good carrot for Curling Canada. They do have some great sponsors, Tim Hortons, Kruger, that help make these events possible, and that can still be supported through television broadcasts. And of course, I'm sure TSN would love to see the opportunity to have some great content like that too.
Ooh, just missed.
So here we go. A couple Jones stones out front. There's a Deschenes stone out there as well. And now a chance to bury another one around those rocks.
I'd be remiss, Jerry, if I didn't take the time to say happy Thanksgiving weekend to you and so many friends across the country.
Yeah, looking forward to a great weekend of curling here. We do have some curling in Saskatoon as well at the Sutherland. The men are getting underway there with their first test event. In Regina, the women are playing in their Saskatchewan Women's Tour event as well. I think their chance third weekend on the ice, maybe second for sure. So yeah, some great curling action out there. Alberta and Airdrie, the McKee Holmes Fall Classic is underway. Kevin Cooey, Jeremy Hardy, Aaron Sluchinski, a number of top-ranked Alberta teams all playing. I know Botcher is sitting out this weekend from that one, but still a great field coming out of there too.
Of course, Europe has had some really good early season success so far in some events that have been held over there, Switzerland to be specific.
Yeah, we're seeing the timelines being a little bit different between Europe and here right now. And so they definitely had the opportunity to get going in late August with some events. Peter de Cruz winning the 2.0 Cup last weekend. Defeated Yannick Schwaller in the final.
Yep.
Adine, Van Dorp, a number of other teams participating last weekend. Elena Stern's team was a late addition to the event as well after a team withdrew.
When it comes to events, I feel like Elena Stern's team and Van Dorp from the Netherlands, I feel like I see them entered in more event than any other men's and women's team, respectively.
Yeah, you look at them traveling a fair bit, getting on the road. Both those teams are quite young and have a bright future in the sport as well. So Jones shot around the guard there. A little bit of a tricky spot there for Deschenes. Playing the run back. Rolls it out into the open. Deschenes now lying one. Her Redstone top 12. Now the counter. Now the thing is, Jones is going to have the chance. Jocelyn Peterman here throwing the stone. To try and draw around and put that stone right back where it was. This one is really hanging out straight.
Still not going to get him shot, though.
No, again, so advantage comes back to Deschenes here. One of the things we did notice last weekend, this was the sheet we were covering, that side off that center lane aisle is a bit straighter. So as you saw with that draw there, if you get it a little bit too far out, it'll run real straight. That wasn't even remotely close to the guard they were trying to draw around, but it's not as if she missed by that much. It's just the case that there's a path out there where if you get it out just outside of that pathway, that rock will run a lot straighter. And just because of that, it can look like that result there. We've all seen those golf putts where you gotta just edge it over the hill. Make sure that you don't hit it too hard, because if you hit it too hard over the hill, it'll blow by the hole. That's sort of what you're looking at some days.
In the fifth end, Deschenes got to really try and find a way to get that 2 here, Jerry. The singles aren't going to do the job much longer. Especially down 4-1, and that last shot not going to help too much. You got a good game coming up at 9:30, right? John Epping and Sam Steep. Who are you going to have on the call for that one with you, boss?
Got John Wilsey coming on board for the 9:30 game this evening. John, skip of a team out of the KW Granite Club area. He's been competitive, I believe, got up to about 24th, 25th ranked in the world beginning of last season.
I think you called it there, Jerry. You said that side of the sheet running a lot straighter, and if that shot right there, Jocelyn's last one, if that doesn't show you, I'm not sure what does.
Yeah, it's sort of one of those things that it takes teams sometimes to pick that up a little bit. But, we've been watching this sheet from game 1 of last weekend. So you start to see the same sort of issues crop up.
It looked like she was trying to play kind of a little run back, a little tap there to get that yellow in for shot. That's what it looked like. Again, awesome seeing all the comments there on below our live stream on Facebook, where everybody's watching from around Canada and around the world. It's just awesome to see so many people thirsting, Jerry, for curling. We are delivering to them tonight.
Nice shot there by, I believe we're into skip stones here. That might have been third for Team Deschenes. Lindsay debut.
Not quite 'tis the season yet, Jerry, but that looks almost like a perfect Christmas tree of high guards out there.
Yep, you've got the the top of the tree, the hanging branches. You got one underneath on each side.
And here comes the smoke. Mm.
And again, caught on the straight side a little bit there. Hits that too thin across the top.
So now you're in business. You're Deschenes with hammer. Where are you playing this one, Jerry?
I'm wondering about, yeah, that Yellowstone is fully buried there. You know, a shot I'd love here. It's interesting if you were to play a tap on that red stone closest to us that you see. Try and, you know, hit half a stone with backline weight, kind of keep it underneath the guards, but if you could then ever open up that yellow one, now you open up a chance for 4. This shot here, I think she has to consider this as well. The straight draw in here. Jones would have this as a response as well.
Yep.
It's sort of a risk-reward type thing. Right now, if Deschenes can come down, make a good draw here, try and sit top 4, you know, I think there's a real good chance they'll get their 2 here with a chance for 3. And if they played something on the other side, it's an opportunity to bring 4 into play. But if Jones does make a good one, you might get hooped out of all of that. I think they were just concerned about the in-off there. A bit of a defensive call there. Not 100% certain of the call here. Just for everyone at home, we are getting the same pictures as you are. We are calling this game remotely. Bryce Atkinson in Greenville, South Carolina. Myself in the Curling Zone studios in London, Ontario. Jones does come up short. You know, you're down 4-1 to Jennifer Jones, and you've got a nose hit run back to score 3 to tie the game. I think you got to go for it.
Yeah, I totally agree. I mean, you're in the 5th inning right now. You've got to make something happen. If you're going to have a chance, you've got to go for it. There is very little to lose down 4-1 at this point. I think they've been fairly solid on the hits so far. It's just draw weight where they seem to have struggled a little bit.
Yeah, I don't think that's unexpected this time of the year. Not a lot of opportunity to get onto practice ice. Looking for the nose hit here. Makes contact.
And
there it is.
Well done.
We're
well
all
done.
tied up here after 5 ends at the Stu Sells Toronto Tankard. We'll be right back from the KW Granite Club in Kitchener-Waterloo, Ontario, right after this break.
No matter what speed you're comfortable with, the G50 line has a shoe for you.
That's comfortable and stylish.
When it was time to get his first pair of curling shoes, we went with Goal Line. Now it's time for the G50.
Looks great, but it grips better than anything.
Man, this is a light curling shoe.
These remind me of why I like to play the game.
This is actually the most comfortable curling shoe I have ever owned. It's a Gold Line.
It's a Gold Line.
It's a Gold Line.
And it's the choice of champions.
Firehouse Subs has so many delicious quality subs. There's something for everyone. But the one that started it all more than 25 years ago was the Hook and Ladder. Piping hot and piled high with freshly sliced smoked turkey breast, honey ham, melted Monterey Jack, and loaded with the freshest toppings on a toasted roll. Try the Hook and Ladder today to find out why everyone keeps coming back again and again. The Hook and Ladder. One bite and you'll be hooked. Visit firehousesubs.ca to order online.
We're back here, all tied up, 4-4 after 5 ends. The Stu Sells Toronto Tankard. What a shot there by skipper Emily Deschenes. Plays the run back, score 3, tie it up. Now we're into action here in the 6th end.
Back with you now, Jerry.
Yeah, heck of a shot there, wasn't it?
Yeah, fantastic shot there. Tie this thing up and game on here, playing the 6. I want to mention something. Another mutual friend of ours, Jerry, Dan Plies, right now. Chris Plies, brother who curls for Team Schuster. Wanted to just bring attention to something he's doing right now. He's longboarding the Mississippi River, and he's doing so for House of Hearts to raise money for childhood hunger and to bring awareness to that issue. And so far, Dan has raised over $10,000 to battle childhood hunger, and you can follow his journey, www.2500forhunger.com. Dan is a machine. He ultra Iron Man. He can do anything, but he's kind of come to a standstill here with Hurricane Delta coming on shore down in the Gulf. But just an amazing thing that he's doing right now to raise awareness for childhood hunger in longboarding, skateboarding along the Mississippi River. Just absolutely amazing.
Yeah, it's a great story. Dan, of course, also a pretty good curler in his own right. Has played in the U.S. Nationals the last few seasons, I believe. And so, him and Chris are quite the characters for sure. So, yeah, now this game's a little bit different. 5 rock rule means no lead is safe, and the Deschenes team looking to, put some pressure on Jones here and either get a force or maybe even a steal.
And that should give this young junior team some confidence. Struggled a couple, through a few of the ends on a few misses here and there. Obviously, certainly understandable when you're not getting much, time on the ice to practice with everything going on regarding COVID-19. But, that last one to give them 3 and to put them squarely back into this game, it really has got to give them all just a shot of confidence in the arm that they're going to need coming home, obviously, against the favorite, Jennifer Jones.
Yeah, of course, this setup here does play into their side as well. Got that middle clogged up now. That looks like second shot stone on the back of the button there. That is a bit of a nuisance rock for Jones because it's going to be hard for her to score 2 or more in that little space remaining.
You can certainly follow both these teams online at Team Deschenes and then at Team J Jones Curl on Twitter. Both teams active, do a really good job. So follow them on Twitter at Team Deschenes and at Team J Jones Curl. Certainly, of course, follow us on Curling Zone at Curling Zone.
Just a heads up for people asking about Caitlin Laws. Everything's okay with Caitlin. It's just a family matter.
Not related to COVID-19.
No.
Not sure that's exactly where they wanted that one, Jerry.
Yeah, it does group the 2 reds a little bit, but Jones has to make a double to get rid of them. And the question is if she can get the shooter out of the way far enough to not still be blocking those stones in the 4-foot there. Yeah, hard to know for sure who's shot in the rings right now.
And that is a perfect double peel.
Yep, and gets the shooter far enough over to open up those 2 stones in the 4-foot.
Like to have gotten rid of that shooter or gotten it over a little bit more, if not altogether, but that works. See Saskatchewan in the house there in the comments on Facebook. Always like seeing Saskatchewan pop up there, Jerry.
Yeah, it's such a great place to be. Even in January, it's still a great place to visit.
The coldest my body has ever felt. Yorkton, Saskatchewan, last January, minus 45 wind chill.
Yeah, and of course you coming from, what is it in Greenville around that time? 10 to 15 degrees Celsius?
At that time here?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's about right.
Yeah, so certainly a shock to the body, I would imagine.
The shock to the body was when Pete Stetsky and I decided to hoof it to a McDonald's. It was only 3 blocks away, which felt like 3 miles away, not wearing long johns in the snow at like 1:30 in the morning. Yes, we were that hungry.
Yeah, arriving late at night at the airport there and Yeah, I remember hearing about this story, and I'm like, yeah, you should know. Pete should know better than that, at least. You, I can't blame. But certainly an experience for anyone. All our American curling fans. Once we get through this, we hope to welcome you to a number of these great events that run in Canada every year. I'm sure you can attest to that experience now, doing the Brier and the Scotties last season.
Yeah, which had me thinking actually a little bit earlier. The last time I got to see my man, a good friend and boss, Jerry Gertz, was in Saskatchewan. It was when I had an early morning exit from Moose Jaw in the Scotties back, I think it was Wednesday, Thursday morning, had to leave the Scotties. And boy, it was a cold drive back to Regina to catch that flight out. But since then, I haven't had any Jerry time. You have too much fun on the road, boss.
You know what? The curling tour is a real fun time, and the people that we come across, that's really what makes it great. So Deschenes really putting the pressure on here.
That, as you're saying there, it's the people, it's the people that make curling just so special. And it's just what I know I speak for a lot of people is what I miss. And one of the things you miss is what we all miss is the camaraderie around our sport, that, the people, the coaches, the fans. It's just such a people-friendly sport, and relationships get built, and just having it, really ripped away, like back in mid-March. It's just, we've all been going through withdrawals, missing curling, but missing each other.
Yeah, I think that's what's made this opportunity, great, so that you can get together again. A number of safety precautions being taken to get this underway.
Ooh.
Just rub the guard. Temperature checks to enter the building. Players are tracking with the COVID alert app. We've got social distancing in place, utilizing all the tools of the game, spacing. We're certainly working on with the players to ensure that proper spacing is left out there.
See back on the screen all the benches that are taped off with yellow tape, so you don't have players congregating in groups there. Trying to keep everybody as socially distant as possible and safe as possible.
You see the setup
Safety
there with Team
is
Jones.
Yep.
And of course, wearing masks is mandated throughout the building, including on the ice surface as well. So, for the sweepers, it's certainly been an adjustment, recovering and breathing with the masks. Colin Hodgson has done some extensive testing with the Dynasty masks this summer, and as a chef working in 40-degree environment, wearing a mask all day. So, it's an adjustment, and that's really what all these players are going through. Of course, communication with the masks at the same time is something you're going to have to use more nonverbal signals at the same time too.
Yeah, that is one of the, with obviously less crowds or no crowds, that's a tougher thing. At least, obviously breathing is paramount. But when you're at one end of the ice trying to talk to, your front end at the other end, and you're standing in the house as the skip trying to communicate through those masks, it can be difficult. Seen it in other sports, so far on television and a little bit here, through curling so far. But, if you can imagine if you had, a lot of people, if you had any people really inside, it would be very difficult to hear. But I know even just talking with my kids, if I were in the car and I start talking just at regular level, wearing the mask, they sometimes, what? So some different, we're all dealing with the challenges together. It's not fun, but, you know, at least to be able to have curling and to do it safely, this is what we got to do for the time being, because this will pass.
So Jocelyn Peterman throwing the 3 middle stones for Team Jones. Lisa Weigel at lead, throwing the first 3 each end. Jocelyn with her middle 3. And then Jennifer Jones, the skip, will throw the last 2. The standard format for a 3-player team setup.
Looks like she's drawing in here. One on her last stone. See where she can put this, if she can make this a good one. Or is she playing the, looks like, no, she, playing the tap. The freeze.
Yeah, I'm just trying to come down to it. I think the original call was to get right into it. But, you know, anywhere in that line there is a useful rock. Closes down that scoring area a little bit. Creates an angle for Team Jones. So much fun. The opening broadcast here at the Stu Sells Toronto Tankard. We'll be back with games again later this evening. Glenn Howard and Sam Steep will take the ice in the opening draw of the men's event. Back with 4 draws tomorrow, 10 a.m., 1:30 p.m., 5 p.m., and 8:30 p.m. tomorrow evening. Again, the same on Sunday, all streamed. So we'll have a busy full weekend of Thanksgiving curling.
Do you think you can blast that one at the top of the forefoot? Obviously, you get rid of the one sitting on the button. But do you have any shot at all? Is there any way to double off those top 2? I don't think there is. Because then you would get rid of your red. But it looks like she's trying to blast maybe that top red or the top yellow.
If you could ever just hit, you know, like 7/8 off nose on the inside there, on the guard side, you probably still clip the yellow one in the back, and then your shooter would roll over with the flat enough angle, would kind of hit the back of that yellow and kick under. It's got to be real close. Does make the double.
Nice shot. I can't tell if they're line 2 or just 1. It looks like 2.
Yeah, it looks like red is 2 right now.
Yep. See Susan Martin comment in the Facebook chat, watching from St. John's, Newfoundland. Boy, every time I see St. John's pop up anywhere, it makes me a little homesick how much I love it up there, Jerry. Only been twice. We were there for the last 2 slams and the past 2 Decembers. Boy, I love St. John's, Newfoundland.
Yeah, I think I've been up there of almost 10 times now. Yeah, such an amazing place to visit. Anybody looking for scores for this event, head over to curlingzone.com. You can check for the line scores on the website there. We don't have any better vantage point than you do on this screen, so just it is a challenge with being able to go through the games. So this is the first of 2 here for Jennifer Jones. Has the hammer here in the 6th end. Teams are playing 8 end games this weekend.
Looks good from here. But still not shot.
So the Deschenes stone Side of the forefoot there is still shot, but now the tricky part is how do you get in there?
I'm Deschenes right now. I'm looking to try and protect that red stone at all cost.
Except you can't block everything right now.
Yeah.
Like if you were to guard the inside, Jones can just pick it out for 2, maybe even hit it and stay for 3. If you throw the guard on the outside, there's still a shot on the inside. So I think what Deschenes looking to do here is hit that yellow stone in the top of the 8 in the middle and try and roll in front of her own stone. Still try and keep it a corner tucked in front of that yellow in the top 8.
Well, even if you just nose hit that top yellow stone at the 8-foot, it still looks like it'd be a fairly tough draw in for 1, though.
Yeah, Jones is going to hit the other red one if she does that.
Yeah. Let's see. Timo Diane watching from Thunder Bay, Ontario. Thunder Bay certainly home, or should be the home of stop of the season, the champions this winter, but we're all in wait and see mode, Jerry.
I think just trying to clarify the shot here. What's our options? What's our plan B? This is the last shot here for Deschenes. Jones with 1 to come.
You called that shot, boss, from the start. Nose that one out and roll yours over.
Yeah, it just didn't roll quite far enough. Chance here for Jones for 2.
This would be a big deuce, especially to answer after Deschenes got 3 in that last end to bring us all square at 4. Like you said, that side of the sheets played a good bit straighter, so you got to be careful over there.
Yeah, this side's got more curl to it.
And, whew, that is not what you expected there if you're Jennifer Jones.
So
and that will be a steal.
But not quite. Steal
Don't
one
blink.
for Team Deschenes. Now leads 5-4 over Jennifer Jones, heading to the 7th end here at the Stu Sells Toronto Tankard. We're streaming live from the KW Granite Club, Kitchener-Waterloo, Ontario.
Hey fellow curling fans, it's Stu here from the Stu Sells series. And I know that with COVID happening, curling tournaments getting canceled, curling clubs are being postponed or not opening, and you're all missing competitive curling. Well, I've got some great news. The KW Granite Curling Club has stepped up to the plate, and this weekend they're going to host the Stu Sells Toronto Tankard, and on Thanksgiving weekend they're going to host the Stu Sells Toronto Tankard. And I went out, I invested a lot of money, and I bought top-of-the-line streaming equipment. So I've got great news. We're going to bring you live competitive curling online through the StuCurls.com site and Curling Zone. So we're going to bring some great curling for you to watch. So I want you to grab your beer or your Chardonnay, grab your snacks, sit back and enjoy. But the reason for this video and the GoFundMe campaign is the live streaming is really, really expensive. And I didn't want to have you subscribe to something or pay a fee to sign up to watching curling. I want to bring curling to all the curling fans across Canada, the United States, and the world. So we're just asking everyone to go on the GoFundMe page and donate $10, $20 and help us do the live streaming for this weekend, next weekend, and if we raise more money, we can do live streaming at all other events too. So remember, stay safe out there, 6 feet apart, wash your hands, wear a mask, and go to the Stu Sells Instagram and tell me what you think about my funky new backsplash.
Back here at the Granite Club, Kitchener-Waterloo, 7th end, Deschenes, Jones. Don't blink. You're looking at the correct score. As Deschenes got 3 in the 5th to tie it 4-4 and then stole a point there in the 6th. 5-4. They lead Team Jones. Jerry, game on.
Yeah, great to see a game here. I know Jones kind of got off to a quick start and a couple little miscues out of the Deschenes team. But here we are, 5-4, 7th end, 2 to go.
Again, go check out our good friend Stu, StuSells.ca. Give him a follow on Twitter. It's at StuSellsTO. Nobody does it like Stu. Cannot thank him enough for the support, the passion, the commitment, everything he does for curling, Jerry. There is nobody like Stu. We can't thank him enough, especially to be able to bring you the event last week and the event this weekend.
Yeah, great to have this streaming coverage. We've got some great teams here looking for an opportunity to get games and give their sponsors some promotion and coverage.
And certainly, if you like the stream, we mentioned it a little bit earlier in the game, the GoFundMe campaign to raise money for online streaming that Stu has set up to help, provide equipment through Curling Zone and for us to be able to do this on a regular basis for spiels across the country. Is Jerry posts the link right there in the chat. So if you don't have a chance to go to it, the GoFundMe site, you can look it up in the chat there on Facebook. Just a great initiative to raise money so we can continue to do this, especially from home. It's a challenge not just for you, it's a challenge for all of us. And so at least this is a way we can bring curling into your iPads, iPhones, your computers, your television, wherever you are across Canada, U.S., around the world. So just thanks so much to Stu and Jerry, certainly, obviously you at Curling Zone, your commitment, the passion you bring to this sport on a daily basis.
Yeah, it's been a real interesting start to the year. So many events still running from a lot of the regional tour events. These are the types of events that have the best chance of success in this kind of environment. These teams are set up in a way they don't have to travel far. And, you can maintain social distancing within the sport. Of course, a lot of junior events are running as well. And events in different parts in the country and around the world where there's varying levels of success in fighting off this virus.
Yeah, we were talking about Saskatchewan earlier, how much I love Saskatchewan, even though the wintertime is not too kind there in the prairies. But, thought it was interesting this week reading the story, or a couple stories where Curl Sass basically came out and said no interprovincial competition whatsoever right now. It's not even, if you leave the province to quarantine for X amount of days, they basically put the mandate down that it's not going to happen. And so those teams, the Saskatchewan, the Robin Silvernagels, the Ryan Kleiders, the Dunstones, the Flashes, they are, for the time being, until things change, they are there competing in Saskatchewan only.
Yeah, it's certainly one of the challenge with a number of the top teams when you've got players spread out around the country. You know, when you look at the Jones team here, Jennifer actually resides in Ontario. Lisa is in Ottawa, so for them it's easier to bring Jocelyn here. And of course, she came in probably 10 days ago now. So both teams content with their situation right here. Deschenes up one without, and Jones down one with, and both looking to kind of just push that into next end.
Jones certainly looking for that blank here to play the 8th and final end. Again, all the games this weekend, 8 ends. But I would still venture to say that she would be more than content to play the 8th down one with hammer and still be in a very, very comfortable position in doing so. Somebody as experienced as Jennifer is. Jerry, a quick hello real quick to Christina, host of the Lazy Handle Curling Show, watching at home. She says, watching the game now. Good job. So hello to Christina. If you haven't seen her show, The Lazy Handle, 11-year-old, or I guess I should say now, 13, I believe, got to meet Christina and her dad at the Briar, back in March, and enjoyed getting to spend a little time with them. She does a fantastic job with her YouTube show.
Yeah, I really like the work she does with the game and the coverage and the way she puts herself out there to give it a go.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Things moving along here pretty quick in the 7th, setting us up for that all-important 8th, Jerry.
Yeah, the rollout there for Team Jones. Deschenes looking to just throw another draw into the rings again. Jones already at the other end. So now here's the scenario. I think Jones wants to roll out here, because if she hits this on the nose, now's an opportunity for Deschenes to take a risk. Try and play the freeze on that stone in the back. And if she makes a good freeze, she might be able to get the force here.
Well, here it is right here. We will find out. And,
so that one on the nose. I think there's nothing wrong with opting with the hit here. You sort of guarantee your position. You're up 5-4 coming home. That's the positive position, about a 60% favorite. Now, of course, you know, you roll in and look at making a decision here. You take a little bit of a risk. If you make that freeze here, you're able to, you know, essentially lock in a force. Now all of a sudden you're, you know, tied coming home with, and you're in a real strong position, probably about 75% to win.
This doesn't look like a freeze.
No, this one isn't here. You know, this is the, you know, keep it simple kind of thing.
Yeah.
Does roll out. Jones is going to get the chance to throw her last one through the rings for the blank. But it's just one of those situations where, you know, the opportunity to get the force there is pretty significant. And as the skill level goes up in the game, the stronger you are tied with coming home. And so that opportunity, you know, you take a little bit of a risk there. You know, the worst case, you go down 40. If you totally miss it, there's a lot of ways that can go right as well. So anyways, headed to the 8th end. Score is still 5-4. Team Deschenes leads Team Jones here at the Stu Sells Toronto Tankard. We'll be right back.
Some people see the world a little differently. Where others see problems, they see possibilities. And they have the curiosity and ingenuity to turn those light bulb moments into awesome realities. We know who you are.
When I sweep with the Gold Line Fiber Light, I feel like I'm sweeping on TV.
That's life. More surface area, better results.
It's that easy.
It's that easy.
You need to sweep for weight?
You need to sweep with this.
Now, every time I curl, people ask me, what are you sweeping with?
What are you sweeping with?
What are you sweeping with?
It's a Gold Line.
It's a Gold Line.
It's a Gold Line.
It's a Gold Line.
And it's the choice of champions.
All right, back into action here in the 8th end. This is the final end here, the opening draw. Stu Sells Toronto Tankard here at the KW Granite Club in Kitchener-Waterloo, Ontario.
So, Jerry, going back, why do you think Deschenes, opted not to try and play that freeze and get the force there?
Well, this is the situation. You are a 60% favorite right now to win this game. You know, obviously that is your standard, you know, neutral percentages. You know, I think I'm going to give Jones a little bit better than the 40% in this scenario. Obviously experience, you know, and then the lack of experience from the Deschenes team. Obviously, you know, there's going to be some nerves on this Deschenes team right now, too. They can see the end result, you know, the victory over a curling legend in Jennifer Jones. And they just have to stay in the moment and maintain the process here.
Not to put the cart before the horse, but what a start this would be to the weekend of curling at the Granite Club. Should this junior team, Deschenes, be able to pull this off? Obviously, we've got plenty more rocks to go, but up one without playing the 8th, chance to get the force, and then, you know, I mean, shoot, you might get a steal and walk it off here, but, you know, obviously more likely to get that force and try and play that extra in with hammer. That would be a fantastic, incredible, unexpected way to open this event.
Yeah, maybe for many, but I've seen this team in action, and I think last weekend's result was not indicative of the skill they bring. And, you know, this is a good young team. I believe they're in the 16, 17-year-old range, a number of them right now. Still several years of juniors left.
Yep.
So, of course, a good setup in the middle already for Deschenes. Those two center guards act kind of as a lock center. So you hit the top one. The second stone is pretty much going to come straight back. Pressure in the middle. They really control that space now.
Jocelyn on this thing hard, Jerry.
Jones has got to make a good one here soon. She's going to have
Trying
some
to
trouble
hold
in the
it.
middle. Just clicks off, but that's still in a good spot there.
Yeah, not the worst result where that thing ended up at all.
Yeah, it does control the top of the house. Deschenes going to have to hit it, and there is no hit and roll inside, or not a very easy one at least. So most likely you kind of play it safe here. You know, you're going to hit 3/4, roll somewhere out into the open. You know, from Deschenes' perspective, she definitely doesn't want to wreck on those guards.
Got by it and
overruled it even. I think that just caught them by surprise a little bit because they were on it a bit, whoa off, and then all of a sudden that cut right across the face there.
You know, after being off, Jerry, for, I mean, obviously several months and not having a whole lot of ice time to prepare, you know, reading the ice, how difficult, how easy is it coming back after, you know, really an abnormally long layoff?
Yeah, that's certainly a challenge for many of these athletes. I mean, being able to find ice time, places to practice.
Mm.
Yeah, there's no obvious answer right here. Jones lying two in the rings, but they are third and fourth shot. Doesn't take much to bring those back into play, though.
And don't forget, next game coming up at 9:30, Epping versus Steep. Right
did I
back
say
here.
Howard before? I think I did. It is, yeah, John Epping coming up next. Thanks, Price. Glad somebody's paying attention.
With a house full of munchkins downstairs, Jerry, I will certainly be tuned in to you in that game at 9:30, Epping and Steep, along with Game 5 of the NBA Finals too. I'm going to double dip with some curling zone in the NBA Finals.
Got a little baseball on in the background here myself.
I'm giving, with the Braves now safely through to the next round, I'm giving my undivided attention at this point until the end of this game to you in this outstanding first game we have here. The first of many this weekend.
Lindsay Dubé throwing third stones this weekend for Team Deschenes.
Hard to see the angle there, but you left that whole side of the sheet open, Jerry. What was the thinking there, throwing another high guard?
I didn't see what the call was for sure, so I'm not certain what the thought process was.
Now you're just going to hit this one out.
And I think for Jones, there is an opportunity to hit and roll underneath cover for shot. If they do over-roll this, they might be able to make the double. The exchange of hits would leave Jones still sitting second shot with shot stone open. I think for Deschenes, this thought here is going to make a lot of sense. Throw the draw here. Try and get one buried around the middle.
I don't know. Draw weight, it just doesn't seem like it's, maybe they're not comfortable throwing it. They just struggled a little bit. I tend to think you hit here, Jerry.
Yeah, that's, I think the hit might be the safest shot now. Though if you could make that draw, that in turn around the center guards, you know, you got a lot of room to work with it. All you need to be is either fully into the 8 foot as shot, anywhere all the way to back of the 8 foot, and you lie 2, and you sort of force the action into that middle space. The hit here, Shane is 1 and 3. Jones can now hit shot stone and lie 2.
Rolled just a little too much. Obviously, you wanted to stay and be second shot there.
Yeah, and you would have needed to roll in and underneath the guards to make that.
Yep.
Yeah, I think the draw was the call there. Jocelyn Peterman with third stones. Caitlin Laws is away. She left earlier just due to a family matter. Nothing emergency. The hit, the roll. They're just waiting on this.
Ooh. So what is second shot? That's the question here. Impossible to tell from that angle. I think it might be that red stone of Deschenes, Jerry. Well, raise your hand if you had Expected to have this result with Deschenes leading Jennifer Jones by 1 coming home. I will not raise my hand on that. I did not. But a great game here down to the final stones here on a Friday night. Kitchener-Waterloo. Skip stones are coming.
First of 2 for Emily Deschenes here in the 8th end. Just a tiny bit deeper than they were looking for. Still a great shot.
I was going to say, that is not bad at all.
Obviously, the red stone in the top of the house there. The rock you got to kind of watch out for. Leave that a little bit too much higher. It would have left a double for Jones. So I think in the end, you heard the call for top four. Not so bad to slide just a little bit deeper here to protect from that double. Looks like Jones can see a little bit here on the outturn side. Jones with hammer here in the 8th, trailing by a single. First of her 2 skip stones. If this gets by, it's going to be great.
Ooh, it ticks off that. Well,
this certainly creates a number of interesting opportunities here.
If you're Deschenes and you hit, I mean, you obviously have to. Well, I guess you
nose hit.
Freeze.
Well, the freeze into that pocket wins the game. Like if you get right there, where Lindsay indicated.
So put it right at the top of that pocket so you don't leave the double is what it looks like, eh?
Yeah.
Because if you just straight nose hit the yellow, then then Jennifer doubles them off, game over. Or at least it'd be a tie game, depending on the shooter.
Yeah, but that's not a bad option either.
Just
there's a lot of things you can do. Yeah, if you don't put the draw in the right spot, you might leave the double for the win.
I think you try and
like you could play kind of
I guess it comes down to what shot are you comfortable throwing at the end of the day.
Yeah, that's really what it is here. You could hit, you could draw. Both are good shots. Like if you made the nose hit, it's a real tough double to stay for 2. If you nose hit and roll to the inside and get it at all buried underneath the guards, that might win you the game as well. The draw has a number of great options at the same time too. So yeah, this comes down to the shot you're comfortable with that you want to throw under pressure. And after watching Deschenes throw that last draw, I don't mind her holding the brick with another draw to come.
Because if you still come up short, it's not the end of the world, is it?
Yeah, exactly. You can guard this. Now you want to leave it in a spot it doesn't leave some sort of a double, because Jones can use this stone to run it in on her last.
I mean, if you hit the yellow and try and roll almost to freeze onto your own red, I mean, that's high risk, high reward, but I think I like the call here. It's the safer call, but obviously it's the call that they are most comfortable with the shot that they want to make.
Right down into the pocket.
That's pretty good.
I think Jones may have a, bit of a Hail Mary, thin off the red. If they can redirect at the right angle, they might be able to get both reds moving.
How thin are you gonna have to hit this top red one?
Couple millimeters. You essentially have to miss your yellow, but just barely.
So Jennifer Jones and her rink sizing up this potentially last shot of the game. Potentially a shot to send it to an extra. The last stone of the 8th is coming up.
Now, you can never count out Jennifer, but this is going to be a real hard shot. Really nicely played draw there by Emily Deschenes.
Is there any way at all to try and tap that yellow to get it shot? Is there any way at all?
I don't believe so.
I don't think so either. It's just hard to tell from.
Though you may be able to tap the top red onto the other red and make the yellow count.
Hold on to your popcorn and your drinks, folks. This is going to be good. How much do you miss a Caitlin Laws in this situation, Jerry?
Yeah, I think it's just that experience reading Jennifer, that personal touch that combination brings to the ice. Like Jocelyn, skilled in this position, Canadian junior champion.
And I should have prefaced that by saying 100% nothing against Jocelyn Peterman.
No, you're supposed to be asking these questions. It's supposed to set up the conversation.
Yep. Is it a different conversation that you might have had if I mean we're obviously speculating sitting here watching, but here we go.
I talked to Jennifer a little bit ahead of the game, just with everything going on, and part of it for her is just trying to figure out how to get that experience with Jocelyn in the house. And of course, with a 5-player team, this is something that's probably going to happen again down the line at the same time as well.
Final shot coming. Can they pull a rabbit out? That is the question.
So it looks like the shot here is back 8, backline weight. They want to get by the guard tight, and they want to try and hit what they can of the back red stone and move it out of the button scoring area. So it looks like yellow is second shot right now.
Shot for the win.
Just not enough weight.
Nope.
So that will be a steal of one for Team Deschenes. They will win 6-4 here over Jennifer Jones, and a bit of a shocker to start off the Stu Sells Toronto Tankard. What do you think, Price?
Game. What a game. How about that three-baller that Deschenes throws up, ties the game, in the 5th? Then steals one in the 6th. Wow. Fantastic opening game here, the Stu Sells Toronto Tankard, Jerry.
Big win for this young team. They got to be really feeling great getting a win against Team Jones.
100%. After you get that win there, and you're off to a roaring start. You're obviously now going to be, I don't want to say the hunted. That'll still be Jennifer Jones and company. But when you knock off, the champ like that, that's going to turn a few heads there, in the locker room and around the facility. So, just congratulations to Deschenes. Struggled a little bit early, and they could just continue to battle and set themselves up for that three-baller there in the 5th. And bam, they went for it, and you pull out a win over Jennifer Jones. That'll be one that I think we'll probably remember for a little while.
So we'll be back 9:30 Eastern in about a time with John Epping taking on Sam Steep. Thanks a lot, Price, and we'll chat again soon, I'm sure. Looking forward to having you back again on the stream.
You got it, my man. Thanks for having me. Enjoy.
Hey, fellow curling fans, it's Stu here from the Stu Sells series. Hey guys, we are here at the Summit at King and Bathurst, and this condo complex is crazy. Look, it's got an outdoor pool, it's got 2 barbecues, has an indoor pool, full gym, yoga, workout room. This is truly like being at Club Med. Now, we're bringing this amazing 1-bedroom and den condo unit to market, brand new wood floor, brand new gorgeous kitchen, brand new bathroom, open concept. This building was built about 30 years ago. When they built these condos, they built them for living. So we're almost 700 square feet of open space, floor to ceiling glass, so much room, closets, storage. This is an amazing unit. So go to stusells.ca, look at all these pictures, see the video, and then call me Stu and come for your personal tour.
No matter what speed you're comfortable with, the G50 line has a shoe for you.
That's comfortable and stylish.
When it was time to get his first pair of curling shoes, we went with Goal Line. Now it's time for the G50.
Looks great, but it grips better than anything. Man, this is a light curling shoe.
These remind me of why I like to play the game.
This is actually the most comfortable curling shoe I have ever owned. It's a gold line.
It's a gold line.
It's a gold line.
And it's the choice of champions.
Firehouse Subs has so many delicious quality subs. There's something for everyone. But the one that started it all more than 25 years ago was the Hook and Ladder. Piping hot and piled high with freshly sliced smoked turkey breast, honey ham, melted Monterey Jack, and loaded with the freshest toppings on a toasted roll. Try the Hook and Ladder today to find out why everyone keeps coming back again and again. The Hook and Ladder. One bite and you'll be hooked. Visit firehousesubs.ca to order online.